Hello, I'm Lisa, and this is step number one of Start Me Up Business Walkthrough. And this is my journey about how I am creating a business, web development business from scratch, and walking you through my journey. So maybe it will help you and give you some ideas. So first of all, as I said last time, we're doing this on a week-by-week basis, basically, and I imagine the whole process, I'll attempt to do it for each week for 3 months and walk you through, and hopefully by the end of that time I shall have a profitable business one way or another. So this week is business preparation. How am I preparing first before I even get started with, trying to get customers and things? So last time you recall, I was made bankrupt, and that has really afforded me a lot of lessons that I wish I had known about, and it would have made a huge impact to what my life looks like today. So I want to, going forward, I need to make sure I'm prepared, that I do not become insolvent. That is really critical, because being insolvent, many businesses run insolvently, which means they are running on borrowed money and they don't have the assets to back themselves if anything goes wrong. And literally, if you become formally enter into a formal insolvency procedure, I did not. That was chosen for me by a creditor. You literally, your bank transactions and everything becomes under the spotlight of the official assignee, and they can literally look back through years of banking history, and there's no restriction on what information the banks give the official assignee either. So forget the rules of they only look back 3 years, because honestly they can look back at your history for a lot longer than that. So really that's keep in mind. I mentioned risk, and so the first thing I'm thinking about is, okay, how am I going to protect myself to make sure that I don't become insolvent again and my business is profitable? Well, first of all, I look at my current situation. My situation today, I do, as I said, I have a small business repair company, which I'm the shareholder of. And I also work part-time in the chartered accounting industry. So I'm not an accountant, I'm a bookkeeper, but I work in that business preparing end-of-year financials. So I continue to do that work, and that is for the key reason that gives me a regular weekly income. And that really is the key for me to start the business, is to have that security, at least for the moment, of a weekly income, that I know that if something goes wrong in my business, or I fall on other hard times, I've got that to fall back on. I can still, keep up and go to work each day if I need to. And I remember I also have been looking at the videos from CMC Markets. They are a company that have an online trading platform, which I do have an account with, and they have some really brilliant videos on how to trade. And so what's that got to do with starting a business? Well, literally they talk in detail about focusing on cash and not getting your emotions caught up in the money side of things. And I learned quite a lot from that, and I learned some very good strategies. And one of the key pieces of information was that you always, even people working in those industries who are making a lot of money for clients through the stock markets and so forth, that they do actually receive a salary. They still get a regular income that they can fall back on, as well as making their profits. So that's what I needed to think about first, was, do I have money to sustain me? And I see a lot of people in business that, that they'll go in, their sole trader business, for example, is their only source of income. And if that falls down, well then, wow, gosh, they can lose everything. So that's kind of like a protection. I can do my business on the side, learn what I need to learn, and then still retain that salary or that weekly income. So if things go wrong, well, I'm not losing everything. And that's a big consideration for me. So next, once I've got that in place, now I know I've already done, now next week we're going to look at budgeting for the business, a basic budget to get you before I even get started. But having decided, deciding on, well, what business am I going to create, I had to think about my current level of skill and how much time, if I needed to learn new skills, is that resource available to me, and can I fit that in with my day-to-day other work that I do? Also, I've got to think about a product or a service that's going to bring value to others, because ultimately, if my product or service does not bring value to people, nobody is going to want to buy it. And of course, I'm going to need to create get some strategies together. And in terms of market research, who are my customers going to be? Am I going to how am I going to present my offer to customers? How am I going to manage all those aspects of my business? So they're just some of the few things that I need to consider. So this week really is about just thinking and maybe getting on the internet and doing some research and just finding out, what do other people say about starting a business? What's it going to be like? So obviously I've creating these videos a little bit ahead. But that's the first thing that I thought of. So for the business development company, I've thought about, first of all, okay, I already do computer repair, so I have some experience with the internet, and I had done a little bit of programming way back when, earlier on, and I'm so pleased with the with websites like Udemy. I'll put that the link to that down in the description. You can go there, and they have cheap courses that you can gain a lot of skills in different areas in. And they've got some amazing courses on actual full web development using the WordPress platform. And that's what I've decided to choose. I've decided that, okay, I can fit that skill. I can join in. Classes cost, what were they, about $30, I think. I've joined up to 2 of those. And I can learn, I can access those videos anytime, and I can basically do the work in my spare time, in my evenings and weekends, and get the skill ready to start my business. So that's how I decided. Was there are other ways, of course. You may hear that people will, there's a whole process in terms of, okay, researching the market, what do customers actually want, and you can, if you don't know what you want to sell, you just know that you want to go into business. So where do you go for information? And the answers that I came up, or that I found, were to talk to customers, talk to people, ask them, what if they got a problem with, what do they need solving? And you can join. There's so many amazing groups on the internet. Have a look around. Different groups, Facebook groups, comments, blogs. What do people write about? What do people have issues with? Can you provide a solution to their problems? And that's, again, what it comes down to, that creating that value for people. So with that in mind, I'm going to need some strategies to apply to my business, not just financial, but there's the strategies of actually getting up each week and taking action and getting something put together, because I know one of the things I've learned is that I needed to look at what my weaknesses were and how can I actually overcome my limitations, whatever they are, whether they're laziness, yes, or something equally horrible. As to how am I going to work around those, because a lot of it, people talk about mindset and what is your mindset with business, and that is really so true, because you won't, for all the money in the world you have, if you don't have the right mindset, you're just not going to achieve anything. And that comes down to, of course, overcoming your fears, and so there's a whole lot of things to consider. Have you got the mindset? And if you don't, well, what do you do? What do you do if you say, well, I've been an employee for years and years, how am I going to now come into business? What I've found, once you start a business, you really need a whole new, different way of thinking, because now, when if you're an employee, depending on, of course, what sort of job you have, and there's a lot of great jobs out there that can help you get ready to be self-employed. So it's a great place to start, is to enter into a job, if you can, that you can say, well, hey, later on I'm going to want to make myself get some other income, and how am I going to learn the skills? Can I get the skills in my current job to help me, whether it's in sales and marketing, or for me, I decided to do it in the accounts as well. You know, can you use those skills that you're learning to springboard you into your business? Because there's so many components to starting a business, and yeah, it's just as well as, look, I've spoken here for 10 minutes about some of the things I needed to think about in terms of preparation, and of course I've only just scratched the surface. So think about that. You know, what skills do you have? Make a list of them. Go and look up some research by Michael Gerber is a very good small business guru, and you know, look at Robert Kiyosaki when he talks about, read some of his books, have a think. And what I do, because as I said, there is so much information out there, well, where are you going to start when you want to prepare? And literally, there's a fantastic strategy that I like, and it's called the Kaizen. Kaizen, Kaizen. It's a Japanese term. It means continuous self-improvement. And it's about taking little steps along the way to achieve your goals. So what I do is literally just take a section, a small section, even if it's business preparation and what I'm going to do, or how am I going to get the skills, and just research that one section until I find something that gels. And then sometimes it's just a matter of putting that knowledge into place and taking action. And bootstrapping, so I'm not going to put loads and loads of money into my business. I'm using the concept of bootstrapping is because there are a lot of people that are self-employed, like me, small business owners, or low income earners that don't have access to thousands of dollars, which I don't. So it's how can you do that, you know, and get started. So start by thinking, start by deciding how are you going to, have you decided, have you made the decision to start a business, and just start by doing that research and listening out, pay attention to people, listen to what they talk about, you know, what skills have you got, what can you help people solve, what problem can they solve. So that's all that I need to say for this week, and next week we're going to look at the strategy of budgeting, getting your lifestyle, I guess, if you like, you know, into some sort of budget, and how that can set you up for when you start your business. So if there's any questions, hope you enjoyed this week's episode on preparation, which has been about thinking about starting a business in the first instance. And yeah, any questions, again, email me, lisa@debtfreeforlife.co.nz, and look forward to seeing you Sunday again next week. Okay, bye.